Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. I'm Brian, host of the show, so to speak, or the channel at any rate. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Glad you found me. Hope you enjoy my stuff. If you're returning to the channel, thank you also. It's quite amazing. I have my glasses off so we don't get the reflection of the window there. And, I'm so glad you came by. That being said, don't forget to hit the subscribe. Thank you to the 96 people who have already subscribed. And always looking to have new friends in the village, so to speak. So today, it's Thursday. We normally bake. Yesterday, I didn't get a video out for the Cajun chicken. It'll be out this evening. Life got so hectic, I actually thought I shot the video Tuesday for Wednesday, and didn't hit record on the second half of the video. So I'm gonna remake it this evening for dinner and bring you guys along. We did eat the Cajun chicken pasta, and it is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to share it with you. Like I said, that video will be out tonight. As soon as we get done baking these cookies, I'm going to do some water changes with the fish tanks, and then come back up and cook supper. So, that being said, today we're going to make a cookie that actually has won awards, not by me. I've actually never baked this cookie. As you guys may know, or may not know if you're new, I do nothing but, we try recipes for the first time, for the most part, on our channel. Whether it be a dinner recipe or a baking recipe, if I've never made it and I can make it in one fell swoop, then I think you can make it too and be very successful with it and on the first go round. So that being said, this recipe for chocolatey, nutty cowboy cookies was actually created by former First Lady Laura Bush, President Bush's wife, and it won awards. I guess they have a competition between First Ladies on cookies, or at least they did this year, and hers won. So that being said, we're going to try them. They're big, monstrous cookies with a nice crispy edge, chewy in the center, and they're easy. You will only need a handful of equipment things, but I mean, it does have a few ingredients, but they're all things you should have in your baking cabinet anyhow. First tool you will need will be a scale, always a scale. The other things you will need is a couple of bowls, just like this. I've got more bowls out because I've got all my ingredients laid out, so that way we can walk through them together. But you'll need a couple of mixing bowls. I've got 2 mixing bowls right here, one for dry, one for wet. And then you will need a whisk and a spatula. And if nothing else, a quarter cup measuring cup. You will need a couple cookie sheets. Like I said, these are big cookies, so you're not going to be able to get a lot of them on a pan. So you'll need at least a cookie sheet, but preferably 2. This makes 16 cookies if I figured it out right. And you'll need it, and you want to line them with parchment paper so they don't stick to the pan. I got this recipe, oddly enough, not from Laura Bush, but from a show on PBS called America's Test Kitchen. But I wanted to try it. They look big, they got a lot of stuff in them, and they're going to be awesome. So the ingredients list, I will give you the measurements in cups and gram weights. The first thing you will need is 1 1/4 cup or 156 grams of flour. Okay, I'm going to go through the dry ingredients first. You will need a 1/2 teaspoon or 2 grams of salt. You will need 3 grams of baking soda. I'm sorry, let's try that again. It's a 1/2 teaspoon or 2 grams of baking soda. It's 3/4 teaspoon or 3 grams of baking powder. All right, so we're at 1 1/4, 156 grams of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon, 2 grams of salt, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking powder at 3 grams and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda at 2 grams. That is all our dry ingredients. Our wet ingredients are going to be 1 large egg, which a large egg is about 50 grams, plus 1 yolk. So it should look like this. Okay? You should have 1 egg, 1 whole egg in there, and then you're going to want to take and break an egg open and separate the yolk from the white. Okay? So, and you want that at room temperature. The next thing you're going to need is 12 tablespoons or 1.5 sticks of butter, and you want it to be melted and separated. See how the fat's at the bottom? Yeah, or melted in room temperature. Okay, so you're going to melt it and you're going to let it sit on your counter. And make sure it's unsalted. If it's not unsalted, just so you don't have an overpowering of salt, say you don't buy unsalted butter, that's fine. Just leave your salt out that you're going to put into your dry. That way you don't overpower the salt. Then you will need a 1/2 cup or 97 grams of light brown sugar, and that'll be packed. Okay, so remember how we've talked about what packed is. When you put it in your measuring cup, just pack it down. Okay, that way, because this brown sugar is soft, so it doesn't pack real well, and you don't really get the right amount. So you want to push it down in the measuring cup and then even it off. So, or use your scale, which is 97 grams. And the last ingredient in the wets will be 1 teaspoon of vanilla, or 4 grams. Then we will need the following, the last bit of ingredients. It is 1 1/4 cup of either old-fashioned oats, which are a little thicker, or quick oats, which is what I have right here. All right. Which are a little thinner, they cook quicker. Is the thing with those. But you don't want to use rolled oats. Okay, they're just too thick. They don't bake, at least not for this recipe. This is my understanding, at any rate. They were old-fashioned oats or quick oats. And since I had quick oats, I went and got those. All right, had those. So then you're going to need 1 cup or 110 grams of toasted pecans. I'm sure you could vary this recipe, I'm sure. Like instead of pecans, you could use walnuts. Instead of, the old-fashioned oats, you use the quick oats. And the other ingredient you're gonna need, which is one of the last two, is 1 cup or 83 grams of shredded coconut. Right there. And this is also, it'll be packed. Okay, because if you just measure out 1 cup, you've got all that air in there in your cup that doesn't count, it's dead space. So you want to smush it down too. So you've got a good solid cup of coconut, or you just use your grams of 83 grams. The very last ingredient you will need, I know, this thing has got these cookies got everything with the kitchen sink in it. But this is the last ingredient, is 2/3 of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Now, I am using milk chocolate chips because I don't have any semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm out. Didn't realize I was out, but I have a good substitute. I mean, when it comes to chocolate chips, use what you like. When you're making chocolate chip cookies, I suppose a semi-sweet is probably your best, but we've made them with milk chocolate and they've turned out great. Matter of fact, Gardella's, which is whose chocolate chips those are, we use mostly all their chocolate in our house. Their chocolate chip cookie recipe is on their milk chocolate chips. So I know it'll work. But you use what you like, what your family likes. That's what it comes down to. It's like the pecans, you could use walnuts in this. Use your quick oats instead of your old-fashioned oats. There's some options here. You could probably put a little more vanilla in it if you like. But what's important is ingredient measurement. All right, so let me get the camera set back up here, and we don't even have to do that. I'll just bring you straight down That way I don't have to worry about, did I turn you back on, because that's what ruined my the video for yesterday's dinner. But that's all right, because we're going to redo it again. We live, we learn, right? All right, so we got you down there where we need to do. First thing we're going to do is hook up the dry ingredients. We grab a drink. Oh, these, I'll tell you what, these Hydro Peak thermoses, they're amazing. I've had water last up to 3 or 4 days, or ice last up to 3 or 4 days in that. All right, so dry ingredients. We're going to put those together first, and then we're going to put together our wet ingredients. All right, so we're going to put in, we got our 1 1/4 cups of flour already in the bowl. We are going to put in our salt, all right, at 2 grams, half a teaspoon. Our 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to put in our half a teaspoon of baking soda. Bam. Done. What do we have left to do to it? Whisk it together. Okay? That's it. No more, no less. Alright, we got that whisked together. We are rocking and rolling. Next thing we need to do is grab our other mixing bowl. We're going to do our wet ingredients. Okay, so we're going to put our egg in. Now, you can beat these eggs up beforehand. I'm not going to. Yeah, we'll dump them in there. Actually, you know what? We will. We'll scramble them real quick. That's why you want them at room temperature. Okay, so that way they're easy to break apart. You don't have to incorporate a lot of air into that yolk. The next thing we're going to add in there is our butter. All right, got our butter in there. And you don't have to worry about the fat being at the bottom. You want that fat. That's what makes a tender cookie. All right, and then we're going to add our brown sugar, which was a 3/4 cup. I'm sorry, half a cup. So we got our 12 tablespoons of butter, our half a cup of brown sugar, and then our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then we're going to mix that all up. Just like such. All right, once we got that all incorporated together, we're just going to take our dry ingredients and we're literally going to dump all of it in there at once, like such. And we're going to get those combined. Yeah, you're not looking for smooth, you're looking for combined. Yeah, it's not like, quite like, it's almost more like making brownies or pancakes than it is making a cake where you want everything super smooth and you want to incorporate a bunch of air. That's not necessary to incorporate a bunch of air. But you want to make sure all your dry ingredients get wet, basically. All right, so then, boom, we've got all our wet and our dry together, and that's where we're at. We'll get all that off the whisk there. All right, we're off the whisk. Now, all we got left to do is add our last 4 ingredients. We're going to add our pecans. We're going to add our oats. Our coconut. And our chocolate chips. Now, before you start making this, putting all this together, getting out your dry ingredients and your wet ingredients, set your oven for 350 degrees. Okay? That's what you want to do next, or first. You want to set your oven for 350 degrees. I should have told you that right off the bat, but I didn't. Yeah, you want preheated 350 degrees. And then we're just going to take, this is where you need the spatula. We're just going to take the spatula and we're going to mix this all together. All right. I am going to finish getting this mixed together, and when we come back and get this all cleaned up and situated, and then when I come back, I'll show you what the next step is, which is literally just putting them on the pan. But it's kind of cool how you do it. All right, I'll see you here in just one moment. Okay, so I got everything cleaned up. Got the cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. That way they don't stick. So this was kind of new to me. Normally I just use I have a cookie scoop, that you scoop cookies with. I'll show you. Yeah, it's like an ice cream scoop, only smaller. And you just scoop them out and little balls and put them on there. But these cookies are huge. So they recommended a 1/4 cup measuring cup. And we're going to take some spray and just spray it in there. That way you reassure that the cookie doesn't stick inside. And then we're just going to scoop up the cookie. And it still provides evenness, which is ultimately what you want. And we'll put it on there like such. Okay, this is why we can only do 8. You see how big that thing is? It is massive. And then we're going to put, now this is a full cookie sheet pan. A lot of times you'll see half sheets sold in stores. And that, if you have a half sheet, you might want to do less than 8. But this is literally what we have to do. Is just stick them in here. And like I said, it according to America's Test Kitchen, where I got the recipe from, which came from, like I said, Laura Bush, it should yield 16 cookies. They got 2 pans of 8 cookie-wise. Get that out, put that on there, but you want to give it plenty of space because these things get big. Hands down big. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get all 16, or at least these 8 together, and get the next 16 set, or the other 8 set up. And once I get done with that, we'll talk about what to do when we put them in the oven. All right, I'll see you in a millisecond again. Okay, so I ended up getting 6 cookies to a sheet, so I got a total of 12 cookies instead of 16. Now, why, I don't know. Maybe their 1/4 cup measuring cup is different than mine. I don't know. But I know those were the measurements for the cookies. I would almost lay odds, since realistically speaking, measuring cups don't all measure the same. Some are better than others. I don't remember which ones were the most precise. I just don't remember. I don't know them. All right, so there's our cookies. Let's talk about your oven for a minute. Let me get you back up here where I can see your smiling face. There you are, looking gorgeous as always. All right, so here's what we need to do. We're going to put these in the oven, 350 degrees, 180 degrees Celsius. And we're going to cook these. We don't cook cookies, we bake them. We're going to bake our cookies for 15 to 17 minutes. Every oven's different, right? Like we talked about before. Your oven may not heat the same way mine does. Mine, I know I have a thermometer in my oven. I know it is at 350 degrees. But if you don't have a thermometer in your oven, which isn't very common, you may not know. So you want to start looking at them. Start with the 15 minutes. Check them about 12, 13 minutes. What you're looking for is you want them to be like crispy, crunchy on the outside, not burnt, just crispy, and crunchy on the outside. But the inside should be the middle should be just beginning to bake. The reason for that is we're going to let them, when we let them sit and cool, as they cool, they'll what's called residual baking, and because they come out of the oven, they're still going to be 350 degrees, so they'll continue to bake as they sit on the cookie sheet out cooling. All right, so I'll bring you back when we get to that point to show you what we're going to do. Because we're going to move them to 2 different cooling stations. We're going to take them from the pan to a rack. All right. Well, I'll see you here. I'm going to go ahead and get these in the oven, get them all baked, and when I come back, we'll move them to we'll have them on a cooling rack and try one. All right. I'll see you here in just one moment. Okay. So we went ahead, I baked them for 15 minutes. I got the first round out and cooled already. So here is what they look like coming out of the oven. Right here, we got a hot pad, and I'll bring it up a little closer to you. Now, I did the first batch at 16 minutes, and then this batch at 15. 16 turned out a little dark, but there's where we are with our cookies. So what we're going to do now is let them cool on the pan, right? And then we're going to let them cool for about 3 minutes and finish residual baking. Go ahead and turn the oven off. And that way we're good to go. So right now they're doing what's called residual baking. They're still baking on the inside. But here, I'll grab one of the other cookies. If you see, like this right here has got nice firmness to it. This here is still nice and soft. That's what we're looking for. And I got that at 16 minutes, but I want to try it at 15 minutes. I knew 17 minutes might be a little long when I checked the first batch at 15 minutes. I thought, let's go another minute. Found out it's 16, so I can write that in the book. So what we're going to do, we're going to let those cool for a few minutes, and then we'll try one. All right, I'll see you here in one moment. All right, so we let those cool for about 5 minutes. Now we're just going to take them off the pan, put them on the cooling rack, and let them finish cooling for about another 5 minutes. Yeah, it's not hard. You could actually probably eat them now. They are a firm cookie. They're not very delicate. And I don't think they spread quite as much as I would have liked them to, but part of that I believe was because my measuring cup that I used is domed. You know, it's got a dome look to it versus just a standard measuring cup, so I think that gave it some extra height, which is okay. I'm still going to run with the 15-minute mark on my oven, but you'll want to check that for your own. So then we'll go ahead and get this moved out of the way here. And while those ones are cooling, these have already been taste tested by Miss Abby, but right here is our first round, and we'll go ahead and give those a shot. Show you what they look like real quick, sorry. There's our cookie, and they are still a good size cookie. I don't know if you'd need more than 1 or 2 of these at a time to eat, but let's go ahead and see how they taste. You know, that'll be the real key to it all, really. You know, we'll go ahead and get it and see how, like, when you break it, it doesn't crumble or fall apart. It's still moist in the center. That's what we look like on the inside of our cookie. Go ahead. That's a rock-on cookie. You can taste everything we put in it. You can taste a little bit of vanilla. You can taste a little bit of chocolate and the coconut and the pecans. Yeah, I can see why this won awards. Hands down. That's pretty good. All right. So, yes, dear. You're goofy. All right, so I definitely recommend this cookie. I can see why it won awards. It's so flavorful and filling. And Abby would like to show you her incredibly teeny tiny monkey there, who is pink. There. Try this recipe. Let me know what you think. If you like it, let me know. Put a comment down below. If you don't like it, put a comment down below. You know, either way, I'm always curious. I like this. I think it's a keeper. We're going to add it to the cookie section of our recipe box. So I know later on this evening you'll see the cooking video that was supposed to come out yesterday, but due to technical difficulties that didn't happen. Although yesterday we did spend the entire day canning. There was some hamburgers, some pot roast, some roast beef, or pot roast, and we did chicken yesterday along with a jalapeno green pepper jelly. But anyhow, so next week for baking, I have been requested to do a cheesecake. So we will do either a cherry or strawberry top cheesecake, either one. Cheesecakes are easy. I can't wait to make this, and I have a recipe. I actually made a cheesecake 2 other times, but they're easy. If I can make it, I know you can make it. Hey, any of this stuff, if I make it, I know you can make it. So, that being said, don't know what we're doing for Wednesday's dinner yet. I got like 3 recipes that I want to spread out over the next 3 weeks, but I don't know which one I'm going to do next week. I'll let you know tonight after the Cajun chicken video, Cajun chicken and pasta video, and we'll take it from there. All right, well, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my cookie. So like I said, try this. Let me know what you think, and we'll take it from there. All right? I love you. Tell somebody else you love them. It'll make their day a whole lot better. I promise. And the way the world's going right now, we need it. So, get your vaccine. Stay safe. All right? Love you guys. I will see you tonight for dinner.